Oh, yeah. What's up, my planet Earth people? It is Thursday, January 22nd, 9 a.m. Made it to the stream on time. Got up this morning, did some editing, updated my acting resume. Boop, boop. Might, you know, might, slide in an audition room one of these days before I kick the bucket. Maybe. We'll see. There's some things going on in Los Angeles, California. You know what I'm saying? And I might. All right, man. It is Thursday. I'm getting on stage tonight, going back down to San Diego. That's exciting. Yesterday was a pretty exciting day. I want to talk about it. It started off hot. Had a job interview. Did some open mics. Yoga, I see you. Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. I see your comment. I don't see you, but I see your comment. Just talking about my day, man. Just talking about my day yesterday, how it started. I went and spoke to a group of young people. It's hard for me to say, it's hard to nail down like the age demographic because these guys were in their 20s, but they weren't. They're in their 20s, but they weren't. And when I spoke with these guys, it really felt like I was speaking to my son and his friends. It was a group of guys that just got out of jail, and they're in a halfway house, and they're in this little outreach program that is phenomenal. I don't want to say the name of it because I might be talking bad about it somewhat. Someone might feel I'm talking poorly about it, but I think it's a great program. They had a podcast studio area, they had a stage, they had a recording area, and they had all these resources in this nonprofit for these, these young people that, were looking to, I guess, I don't know. It was hard. It was an interesting. So I was asked to come and talk to them about like my experience in fitness and my, what got me from, my time, where I was making mistakes to where I'm at now. So I was asked to come and talk to them, and it was interesting because it was almost like it felt like they didn't know I was coming. Like it was interesting. They couldn't focus on much I was saying. They had other things it felt like I was talking to high school kids. That's really what it felt like. But these guys were in their 20s. I mean, their attention span was very short. They're kind of on their phone and looking down and looking in the sky. And it seemed like not much of what I was saying was landing. I did tell a couple of jokes they laughed at. So it was just kind of interesting. I didn't let it like trigger me, even though it almost seemed like a couple of the guys were intentionally trying to be a little triggering. One specifically came in, and within the first 5 minutes he sat down, was like, all right, let's take a break. And then they all took a break. It was interesting, man. It was interesting. I mean, I see myself moving in spaces where I'm like kind of talking to, young people. I was very excited about showing up for those guys. Didn't necessarily go the way I expected it to go, but I also kind of just wanted to at the end of the day, let them know, like, even being in a group is doing the work. You gotta chip away at it. You gotta get out of your way. There's so much information I wanted to tell this group. There wasn't enough time, and the little time that I had with them, they were distracted, and it seemed like they were not interested in any of it. So that was that. But I still was really happy I showed up for them, because that's my work. And that's what I've kind of noticed about me. It was so funny because at one point the facilitator said, "Oh, I think a couple of the guys are triggered by you." And I trigger people. My energy triggers people. People are very intimidated by people. What's going on? I was talking about an experience I had yesterday. I went to speak with some young kids that got out of jail and are in a halfway house, and they're trying to work on their stuff. And yeah, my delivery, the way I try to come across and articulate how I feel could help people. People are triggered by it. I mean, I have comic friends that I've tried to literally help out, and the information that I try to give them, they can't receive it because they're triggered by the delivery. And honestly, is what it is. I don't know. I don't necessarily how to change the delivery of how I try to convey information. I'm not going to. I like me. I like how I like the way I talk. So I'm really not going to. People that want to receive what I got to say, they receive it. I mean, honestly, it's like David Goggins. Not everybody could receive what David Goggins is giving, because he's aggressive. He cusses. Some people just don't like that. And it is what it is. But there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that fucking love it. So I'm really not going to change my delivery and my energy based on, the few people that can't really hear it because they don't like it. I do notice that a lot, though. I do notice that a lot, especially with comics, especially with people that are a little bit more passive. Passive individuals, they really don't like to hear what I got to say. I've noticed that. Leroy, the channel lit. My man, I appreciate you. Random, but you would be a good voice actor. Appreciate that. Thank you. I've heard that about my voice. People say that I have a good voice. One of my mentors, good friend of mine, Matt Nolan, he's a voice actor. Maybe I'll dive into that a little bit more. I'm looking to, start auditioning again. So I do appreciate that, that feedback. The what? All right. So yeah, that's how my day started. I went and talked to a group of young people. It was interesting. Great facility. Love what they're doing. It would be nice to see I guess some more respect from the group. It felt very without putting emotion on it, the group didn't have a lot of respect for somebody showing up for them and giving an hour to 2 hours of their time. I unfortunately, because of how I was raised and because of my belief system, I when it's hard for me to be like, oh, they're kids, they're in their 20s. I don't think you're kids in your 20s. I think you're an adult. Now, like, if I was going and speaking to like a group of high school kids, yeah, I'd be like, oh man, these are teenagers, these are kids, high school kids. They're distracted. What more can you ask for? But these guys were in their 20s, and they lacked respect. So I just feel like if I showed up again, or if I was asked to show up again, I'd have to set some boundaries. I'd have to tell the facilitator, like, yeah, I would love to, but nobody's going to have their phone. The phones are going to be put away. Nobody's going to come in and dictate how I show up for you. Because there was a guy that came in and within 5 minutes kind of dictated the whole scenario. He was like, "Oh, we need a break. I'm looking at everybody's energy. We need a break," and they let him take a break. Like, you're letting these guys kind of dictate how the flow of this is going. It felt like there's a power struggle at that place that's like unbalanced. So if I was asked to show up again, or if I was asked to come again, I would definitely say yes, but I would create some boundaries for them, like, because I think that's just from my short time there, felt like that was something missing. These guys knowing that there are boundaries. So yeah, that was that. From there, I went to a couple of mics, worked on some material, and then I had a job interview at a gym downtown that I'm excited about, and the job interview went well. So, I'm gonna wait for a second email for a second interview to be an instructor and a personal trainer at a really nice gym downtown. And that, yeah, I feel like that would fit right in with everything that I am working on, because it's not a full-time gig. It would be kind of part-time. So I feel like that would really, really work well with what's going on in the life, man. Tonight I perform at the Laugh Factory in San Diego. Always a blessing, and always grateful to go down there. Something's been coming up for my son. He's been a little emotional lately. I think it's a good thing. It's surrounding basketball, and I just think he's maturing. My wife seems to be a little concerned. I'm not. There's certain things that he's wanting production-wise when it comes to the basketball court, and he's not getting those things right now. He's not getting those things right now because his maturity level hasn't caught up with where he's at. He's a junior in high school, and a lot of these kids in high school, I've noticed, are a little bit more immature than what we were, where I was when I was in high school. I feel millennials and older, we matured a little bit faster than a lot of these kids. So like I do see some of these kids struggling, because they're a little behind when it comes to maturing. And when you get into high school and you're playing sports, things are moving really fast. Things move really fast, and some people start to stand out. Now, you can't yes, there's talented people out there that are just like they have a little bit of more athleticism, or they have they're a little bit more gifted on the court. Sure. But I also know there's a lot of kids that have been out here working hard since they were like 5, right? So I do see a lot of young people become distracted with other people's results rather than focusing on their results. and how to create the results that you desire. That's not just young people though. That's adults as well. I see that in the comedy world. People looking at other people's results, becoming jealous because of what other people are getting, or or things of that nature. That jealousy creeps in. A better way is to be like, okay, boom, look at that person. That person is winning. Let me see what they did. Let me see if I could dive deep and see what they did, and see if there's anything in their strategy that I could apply to my strategy. I think I'm going to make this week, probably this weekend, a video about strategy, a long form YouTube video about strategy and how to start working on a strategy and being strategic about the things that you want in life. It's important. I don't think a lot of people are doing that. So I think I'm going to make a long form video, post it on my YouTube channel about strategy. And that's also going to help me with my strategy, because it's something I've been working on for a while. And man, the thing about strategies are you got to keep adjusting. You got to keep adjusting, baby. All right, man, it's Thursday, man. It's a big weekend coming up, man. The Seahawks play the LA Rams, and man, I said this at a mic. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm anxious. I didn't want to play the Rams. I wanted to play the Bears because it was the easier game. I thought it would be the easier game. But this is the game that God wanted. And I'm nervous, man. But I will say, I'm still happy. I'm happy we got to this point. Because nobody expected this. Nobody expected the Seahawks to show up like this. Like, the eye test, we're the strongest team. Our defense, our passing game, especially when Sam Darnold is pitching a perfect game, and he has pitched perfect games, man. Damn near close to perfect games. So nobody really expected the Seahawks to show up like this. So this is a good feeling. I think our future is very bright, and I'm just having faith that this is our year. This is our year to go all the way, baby. Hell yeah, man. All right, let's see what else I got to talk about. The chat's been soft lately. The chat's been dry. The chat's been chilling. The chat's been stagnant. Maybe it's because I changed the name back to Triggered Yogi. What's going on, chat? You ain't got nothing to say to the kid? We got a few more minutes left. Or did I block every single person? I've been going crazy with the blocks. Let me just tell you. Pull up with that dumb shit. I can't wait to block somebody. I just don't get the trolling, man. I just don't get the wild comments just out of nowhere, out of the blue. I don't get it. So you get that bing, bing, that bing, bing real quick, that block real quick. I think I'm going to go down to San Diego early, probably around 12 or 1. I did like going down there earlier last Thursday. Was also on the show. Went down at 12:30 and, had time to just like kind of hang out and relax. And it was good. It was good to have some free time to hang out and relax before the show. I must haven't seen your message. Which message? Which message? The channel is lit message? Which message? Anyways, man, I'm trying to fill this time. I got about 10 more minutes. The chat is dried up. I'm really gonna have to start pulling up with some more topics to talk to you guys about, rather than, especially when I haven't been really triggered lately. I've been living the dream, baby. I've been flying high. I've been attracting all the good things in life. But I've also been repeating all the good things in my head. Man. I mean, the biggest trigger for me yesterday was that group of kids that I pulled up and talked to. Mainly because it was like a stop and go experience. It was stop, go, stop, go. Like right when I got there, it was stop, go. Which was just a little off-putting, awkward, strange, because it was just like, I just got here. Y'all want to hear nothing I got to say? So, but I don't know, man. Should I start looking at young adults as kids now? Would that make it? Do I need to change my perception? Because kids that are in their 20s are so kind of mentally immature. They're like more like teenagers. Do I need to change how I perceive young adults? I don't know. This is something I need to talk to somebody about, man, because it's just like, because the goal is to be able to speak and connect with these guys. That's the goal, right? And if I can't do that, then goal is not being met. I'm failing. Let's just say maybe it was just like it was just one time. Anyways, I don't think I should put too much thought into it. I'm not going to put too much thought into it. But that was really the only thing yesterday that kind of came up for me. I was excited about it, so maybe it was also a little disappointing for me that I had so much to say to these guys. Because I've been where they're at. And it didn't take me a long time to get out of where they're at. So I had so much to say. I was so excited. And it just didn't seem like they received any of it. So I guess it was just a little disappointing. And then they had a couple bullies in the group. Nah, not a couple. There was just one. There was just one dude that thought he was like the big dick, kind of stomping around, dictating how the flow of things goes. That shit would not last. If I was a facilitator at that spot, oh man, those kids would hate me. I gotta call them kids because that's how they act. They act like kids. I gotta call them kids. Look at the one before this. I did. Growing up in LA, we used to go to a lot of movies. Hollywood Boulevard had a lot of theaters. Not like it is now. Yeah, man, I used to go to movies a lot too, man. I don't really do that anymore either. And going to movies used to be my favorite pastime. I would go to movies by myself. That's how much I loved the movie theater. And I don't do it at all anymore. I can't even tell you the last time I watched a movie in the movie theater. I couldn't tell you what the movie was. But in my defense, it's hard for me to even watch movies at home anymore. I think we're all just really changing because of our phones, because of the content, because of how we need things a little bit faster. We need a story really fast. We need a story in 90 seconds. 2 hours? Why are we telling stories in 2 hours? I need a 90-second story. That's it. Give me the beginning, the middle, the end in 90 seconds. It's really, our phones have really changed our perception on how we enjoy entertainment. It's sad, because I used to really love the movie theater. It is sad. But that's kind of where we are. I literally have to force myself to sit through a movie. Like I was just, it usually takes me 2 days. You know what does look good, and I will try to see this in the theater, that 28 Days Later sequel or whatever, that 28 Days zombie film. That looks dope. Yeah, because the convenience of staying at home, man. And it is convenient. And honestly, this is a triggered Yogi live stream. Some people need to stay at home. Some people start malfunctioning when they leave the house, A lot of people. I live in LA. You could go a block away. You could drive a block away, and the first corner, someone will malfunction at the light behind their wheel. I think most LA people malfunction while they're driving. We do not know how to drive. And we think everybody other than us is driving poorly. It's like, oh, this person drive, but you're doing the same thing. I think it's safer that people are staying in the house now. Cause man, we bounce into each other sometimes. That's where the problems start to create. But yeah, it is interesting, man. We used to be outside people. We used to play outside. We used to go outside. We used to hang outside. Now we're inside people. I don't think it's good or bad. I just think it's different. The 90s, man. The 90s were the best time. We'll never get that back. Just know, if you experienced the 90s, if you were alive during the 90s, you experienced a time. Man, the 90s were the shit. They really were. It's more racist now than it was in the 90s. You remember people in the 90s, people were talking about all racism? The 90s was chill. We were chilling. We were chilling. I think the 90s was the decade where racism was at an all-time low, the lowest it's ever been. Since then, it started getting weird again. Before then, it was weird. The 90s was the God's decade. Jesus might have came back in the 90s, during the 90s. I think Jesus was walking around during the 90s. He didn't say nothing. Was it Kurt Cobain? I don't know. He could look like Jesus. Jesus was walking around on the planet during the 90s. That's why it was so chill. That's why it was so cool, because Jesus was in town. You know what I'm saying? He came back. Then he was like, nah, I'm out of here. Y'all tripping. Yeah, human beings are tripping. Yeah, man. All right, man. I rambled for 30 minutes. Never fails. Never fails, baby. What I got going on? All right. So on Monday, next Monday, is going to be our open call, open mic, Comedy Fitness Live. Anybody could show up and go up. The regulars are going to judge and add commentary. All the people that show up, well, not all the people. There's going to probably be 7 to 8 people that get picked. Those people will perform the minute on stage. And yeah, so that's going to be next Monday, 7:30. I got to make a flyer and start promoting that. That's what I got going on. Laugh Factory San Diego tonight. If you're in the San Diego area, pull up, come see the kid. That show is at 8, I believe. And that's all I got for you good people. Have a wonderful, magical, beautiful, blessed day. I will be back tomorrow, 9 a.m., the Triggered Yogi live stream. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.